his incredible worldwide celebrity combined with the allegations, the charges now, and indictment, of course, of acts of violence against women make him a very attractive target.
All right.
It ain't no wonder that Diddy's freaking out and making statements like, I will unalive myself here. I mean, come on, we gotta remember that according to his lawyer, he decided to come to New York all by himself.
We knew this was coming. I mean, he moved to New York, as I think some of you guys know. We brought him to New York about 2 weeks ago because we knew this day was gonna come, and it's here.
Okay, so we can see that at the time of Diddy's arrest, his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, said, we expected this was coming. And that's kind of interesting. So now that we know how Sean Combs really feels, it's kind of funny seeing the change from his initial reaction. Since, you know, as per his lawyer, he felt almost cozy.
He came here to surrender at a time agreeable to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then they arrested him last night. I spent the evening with him. I was with him until about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life. And he's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges. We know what the charges are going to be.
So let's remind you that Sean Diddy Combs, the rapper and music entrepreneur responsible for launching the careers of some of the biggest musicians in recent years, may face more than 100 new lawsuits after being detained by federal authorities in New York. In the raid at his Miami Beach mansion, officials found guns and ammo, as well as large amounts of baby oil and lubricants. Apart from making a great meme, the lubricants also paint a picture of his lifestyle. Now this means that his initial convictions don't even scratch the surface, as many believe Sean Diddy Combs has done even worse things. His power and influence is apparent, and his use of them is nothing short of vile and disgusting. Keeping all this in mind, it's no wonder that Diddy's got a target on his back, as not only women, but also minors are mentioned among the many allegations against him. Jailers placed accused sex trafficker Sean Diddy Combs on a procedural suicide watch while the music mogul awaits trial on 3 felony counts stemming from more than a decade of alleged abuse, according to a source. Combs has been in federal detention in New York City since the 17th of September. The Metropolitan Detention Center guards is keeping a careful eye on him. If he really turns out to be the monster that he's being portrayed as, then death would be an easy way out for this guy. What he really needs is hell, not only after his eventual passing, but on Earth as well. The MDC in Brooklyn, which is a U.S. federal administrative detention facility, is often described as a horrifying experience with disgusting conditions, which now the music mogul calls home. Former warden Cameron Lindsay has spoken about the situation in the MDC in Brooklyn, talk about the conditions that Diddy has done find himself in.
Yes, in my humble estimation, his life, his safety is in jeopardy in any correctional lockup right now. If it is true, as reported, that he is housed in the special housing unit, it's important to note that the special housing unit is a lockdown, 24-hour lockdown unit. The MDC Brooklyn is a high-rise. The vast majority of the floors are general population floors. But the special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown facility. So this is for Mr. Combs' protection.
When he wakes up, he's staring at cinder block painted white walls, as opposed to whatever the decor of his mansions were, said fixer Michael Cohen. Also, the music mogul is facing struggles behind bars and jail regarding food. His legal team has expressed that the worst part of his incarceration is not the actual isolation, but the food that is served to him. Now, y'all can imagine how hard it is for the mogul to switch from caviar in the morning to potatoes all day long. So instead of the habits that the rapper had with Michelin-star dishes Diddy's accustomed to, well, now his breakfast starts at 6 a.m., which is made up of cereal and some fruit. Now, we ain't even going to talk about the rest of the dishes that this dude is served in prison. But something tells us that Diddy's going to have to get accustomed to the food that's served in prison because his trial's going to start next year. Let's just say that the dishes that he eats is going to be the least of his problems. One of the former inmates and a former mobster, Ori Sparto, talked about his stay in the detention center and about the rapper's future.
It's a very serious jail. People get beat up left and right. The Bloods and Muslims control everything there. He will be in PC or he's going to have to pay. Now let me tell you, a guy like Diddy with money, they put him in general population, he's going to be paying a lot of people. A lot of families are going to be very happy because they're going to be getting monthly money from Diddy.
Diddy is one of several high-profile detainees who spent time in New York City's notorious MDC. The institution has housed musician R. Kelly, farmer bro Martin Shkreli. We talk about socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, one-time cryptocurrency whiz Child Sam Bankman-Fried, and a lot more people who was in prison there while waiting trial on murder and drug trafficking accusations. A federal judge denied Diddy's bail, so the music mogul's gonna remain in federal jail until his trial on racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking allegations. Now, Combs has pleaded not guilty to all allegations.
We made the points that we've been wanting to make. I think it came out. Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. He's been looking forward to this day. He's been looking forward to clearing his name, and he's going to clear his name. And we're going to stand by his side as he does. We believe in him wholeheartedly.
With no trial date set for the 54-year-old hip-hop musician, it's kind of unclear how long Combs is going to be in prison in the Brooklyn prison. But following a bail refusal hearing, his lawyers stated that they would appeal the decision. It's a very difficult place to be an inmate, said Diddy's attorney in court, telling the public that it would be difficult for his client to get ready for trial, meaning that the tables have indeed turned from their initial confident stance. All insiders at the detention center are saying that Diddy's currently waking up on a steel bed with a 1-inch mattress, no pillow, and an 8-by-10-foot cell.
Diddy Combs is locked up in a federal jail that has been plagued by harsh conditions and violence. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn has seen multiple deaths in recent years. An inmate was stabbed to death in July, and several others have died by suicide. It's these reasons, among others, that Combs' lawyers are fighting to get him out of there. They want him released on bail rather than being kept in jail while he awaits trial on sex trafficking charges. For now, Combs is one of about 1,200 people locked up at MDC Brooklyn. He's the highest profile detainee at a place that's been described as hell on earth.
Inmate stabbings and fights ain't unusual things in the detention center, where even there were reports that some inmates who was waiting for trial never reached it because of death inside the walls. But let's take a look at this. For the first time since his arrest, Diddy has broken his social media silence on Instagram and made a post to celebrate his daughter's birthday. Social media is strictly prohibited for inmates, and it's still unclear how Diddy managed the post on social media. Is there a possibility that the music mogul has that much power to evade all the harsh conditions that we've spoken about? Or is there a possibility that somebody's using his social media on his behalf? And let's just hope that it's the latter. The question that comes to everybody's mind is we gonna have another Epstein situation on our hands with Diddy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.